Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees to our weekly Tuesday evening satsang program. So, for the last few months, we are discussing from Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein in the previous few weeks we were discussing about uh, the activities of Kardama, who was the son of Lord Brahma, being instructed by Lord Brahma in order to get married and beget children. Kardama Muni performed severe austerities for 10,000 years, as a result of which the Supreme Lord appeared and blessed him that very soon Swayambhu Manu, along with his wife Satarupa and their daughter Devahuti, would come to him within the next 2 days and offer their daughter in marriage to him. And then through her, you would beget 9 daughters, and I myself appear in my partial manifestation. And eventually, accepting renounced order, you will attain perfection unto me. And I will travel over the surface of the earth and preach the Sankhya Yoga to each and everyone. So those are the blessings of Lord Vishnu unto Kardama Muni. And then, as Lord predicted, the day after tomorrow, 2 days after that, after Lord's appearance, Swayambhu Manu and Satarupa, along with their daughter Devahuti, approached Kardama Muni in his ashram, located on the bank of Saraswati River, adjacent to Bindu Sarovar. And after having some cordial discussion, Swayambhu Manu offered their daughter in marriage to Kardama, and Kardama accepted her with a precondition that after begetting children, then I will go on to forest, accepting renounced order. So the daughter, mother, father, everyone agreed to this condition. The marriage completed. Swayambhu Manu and Satarupa went back to their kingdom known as Barishmati. And then later on, in the forest, in the Bindu Sarovar, in the ashram, while Kardama Muni was engaged in severe austerities, Devahuti was assisting him, forgetting about her own body, her own luxuries, etc. So eventually, by serving her husband very dedicatedly, very much just like Mother Parvati would serve her husband Lord Shiva, Bhavaniva Bhavam Prabhu. So Devahuti served her husband very nicely. A lot of time went ahead. She became emaciated. Her whole body became covered with lot of dirt, and she became skinny, and her clothes and whole body were covered with lot of dirt, etc., etc. Eventually, out of compassion and understanding that Devahuti was neglecting her own comforts and dedicatedly serving him, Kardama became very much satisfied with her dedication, compassionate upon her, ready to afford whatever blessings she wanted. And he also indicated that I can award you all the spiritual blessings which are nowhere in comparison to the material blessings that can be awarded, that can be obtained anywhere in the 14 planetary systems in this material world. But instead of asking for any other spiritual benedictions, Devahuti reminded Kardama that the promise that he had made during the time of marriage, that he would beget children through her. So without speaking a word, she indicated to Kardama that, so my dear husband, you have promised me that you would beget children through me. So now I would like to have children through you. Because for a chaste lady, begetting children through a powerful husband is praiseworthy in this material world. So I would like to have children through you. So, and also for that purpose, do the necessary arrangement. Understanding the heart of Devahuti, Kardama immediately, using his mystic potencies, created a beautiful aerial mansion which has all the luxuries that can be that are more than the luxuries of heavenly abodes. So then eventually, understanding her intention that her body is not suitable for this luxurious lifestyle, then Kardama Muni requested her to enter into Bindu Sarovar. As soon as she entered into Bindu Sarovar, she saw 1,000 beautiful girls waiting for her. As soon as she entered into the water, they got up and they introduced themselves that we are your maid servants. Please instruct us what we do. Then understanding her desire, They bathed her with so many fragrant oils. They dressed her, they decorated her, they fed her, and they gave her liquids of all auspicious foodstuffs. Having accepted all those things, when she looked herself into the mirror, now she is looking very beautiful herself. She regained her former beauty as the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, etc. So now she was so beautiful that she was so satisfied. Immediately she remembered her husband. As soon as she remembered her husband, herself and along with the 1,000 maid servants, they all seen themselves in the aerial mansion. And in their midst is seated Kardama like the moon on the full moon night. Then along with them, with his mental instructions, the aerial mansion took them all over the valleys of Mount Meru in Iravatha Varsha. And then it took them to all the other abodes throughout the Bhumandala. After spending 100 years like that, traveling in the aerial mansion, visiting all the different places all over the Bhumandala, Bhuloka, they returned to their ashram. There, understanding that Devahuti wanted to have more children, more and more children, Kardama expanded himself into 9 forms, and one after the other they impregnated her 9 times, as a result of which, in due course of time, she gave birth to 9 daughters, one after the other, kind of 9 twins. 9 of them appeared one after the other together. So thus the 9 daughters were born. And as it would happen in the among the Devata society, as soon as the conception was over, in 1 or 2 muhurtas time, the 9 daughters were born, and in 1 or 2 muhurtas time, the 9 daughters were grown up to youth. And now Kardama, who is not at all attached to worldly happiness, etc., understanding that he had fulfilled his promise that he had given to his wife at the time of marriage, he is ready to go away from home. He is ready to leave from the home. Then understanding that Kardama is getting ready to leave home, Devahuti apparently externally was smiling, but because she cannot bid farewell to her husband in a crying voice. So outwardly she is smiling, but inwardly within the core of her heart, she is actually going through intense pain, intense agony. And now she is going to speak, or she is going to express her pain, her agony to the departing husband. So the rest of the chapter talks about what is her pain, what is that she is feeling, what is that making her feeling sad or bad, etc. So now this is last week we have in the last class we have stopped with the verse number 50. Now we'll continue with verse number 51. Devahuti ruvacha sarvam tad bhagavan mayam upovaha parishrutam atapi me prapannaya abhayam datum arhasi. So here Devahuti is saying that Sarvam Tad Bhagavan Mayam. Oh great personality, oh my dear husband. Sarvam Tad Mayam Upovaha Parishrutam. Whatever you have promised at the time of marriage, you have accomplished all of them. There is no fault in you. You have accomplished all of them, and as per the promise, you are getting ready to go into the forest, leaving me behind. Atapi, even though, Atapi me prapannaya, even though you have fulfilled all the promised conditions, since I am a surrendered soul unto you, Atapi me prapannaya, abhayam datum arhasi, you are supposed to give me fearlessness. Though you have fulfilled all the promises and you are leaving home, you are leaving from home, leaving me behind, but you, as the person of highly knowledgeable and as my husband, you are supposed to give me fearlessness as you are going away. What does it mean, fearlessness? So from the spiritual point of view, maybe like a surety of attaining perfection, or from the material point of view, maybe security, etc. etc. But Devahuti, in her simple words, is that in a way it is a combination of all those things. Of course, it becomes more clear in the next verse. Who will take care of me in your absence? That is what her direct and immediate question. How I can live in security? Who will take care of me? Kindly tell me. You should award me some fearlessness. Abhayam datum arhasi. Since I am surrendered to you, Prapannaya, arhasi, I deserve some kind of protection from you. Because when a soul surrenders unto the master, it is the master's responsibility to give fearlessness. Sakrideva prapanno yas tavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai etadeva vratam mama. So while discussing with Hanumanji, Sugriva and all other Vanara Sena, when Vibhishana comes to Lord Ram to take shelter, seeking for shelter, that time Lord Rama says that Sakrideva prapanno yas, whoever it may be, even if they say once to me, having surrendered unto me, tava asmiti cha achate. Sakrideva prapanno yas tava asmiti cha achate. Having surrendered to me, even once one says that I am yours, please protect me. Abhayam sarvada tasmai. I would give shelter or fearlessness to that person for rest of the eternity. Etadeva vratamama. That is my vow. So that is the vow of a master. So that is like that. Whether the master gives vow or not, it is master's responsibility to give fearlessness to the surrendered soul. That Devahuti is reminding Kardama Muni. And Kardama might say that, so why you are asking about fearlessness? You have 9 daughters, they will take care of you. What is the problem? Your daughters will take care of you. Then Devahuti says, Brahmanduhitri bistubhyam vimrugya pataya sama kashischan me vishokaya tvayi pravrajitevanam. She says that. So my dear Brahmana, you might be thinking that our daughters will give me fearlessness or our daughters will take care of me. But that may not be the case with daughters, because Brahman Daitribis Tubhyam Vimrugya Pataye Sama. Your beautiful daughters after eventually might find a suitable husband. Vimrugya Mataye Sama. Pataye Sama. Vimrugya means who have the eyes like the deer. The deer eyes are very beautiful. All your daughters have beautiful eyes. Eventually, they might find husbands of suitable character and qualities in respect to their own nature and character and qualities. Kaschistyan me vishokaya. After finding their husbands or their suitable husband, they will go along with their husbands. Who are going to stay with me? None of the daughters are going to stay with the parents. After their leaving home, who will take care of me? Who will protect me? Kaschistyan me vishokaya. Tvayi pravrajite vanam. On one side, you will go to the forest. On the other side, your daughters will go along with their husbands. Then who will give me solace? Vishokaya. Then who will take care of me in that miserable condition, in that lamentable condition? So then Kardama asks, what exactly you are looking for? So she says that, please give me a son. Son does not leave me alone. If you give me a son, that son who will be representing you will take care of me. So this was the culture in the olden days that, of course, in the past, of course, in the current day also we can see in the responsible families that the girl, when she is very young, she'll be taken care by the father. After marriage, she'll be taken care by the husband. After husband's renunciation, when the husband goes to Vanaprastha order or Sannyas order, she will be taken care by her sons. Or during Vanaprastha, both husband and wife might have gone to Tirtha Yatra, but when they come back, the wife was kept in the care of the sons, and the husband will take on to sannyas and he will go alone for the purpose of preaching, etc. That time, she will be under the care of her sons. So thus, a woman is always under the care of someone, either father, her husband, or son, in due course of her life. So that's why she is indicating that if there is a son, even in your absence, he will take care of me. Daughters, eventually one day, will have to go to their in-laws home. They cannot stay with me eternally. So kindly give me a son who can stay with me and who can remove my lamentation. Therefore, be merciful unto me before you depart to the forest till the time I would get a son. So this is the request Mother Devahuti is putting in front of Kardama Muni. And Kardama Muni might say that, are you anticipating for some more sense gratification? For few more years of travel in the aerial mansion and traveling here and there like that? She says that, no. I am not interested in any more sense gratification. I have understood my fault. Even though previously when you said that I am ready to give you all the blessings, that time I could have asked you for the blessings of spiritual perfection or material emancipation. Instead of that, I have asked for sense gratification in your association. Now I regret for my that act. So she says that etavatalam kalena vyatikrantena me prabho indriyartha prasangena parityakta paratmana. Etavatalam kalena vyatikrantena me prabhu indriyartha prasangena. My dear husband, though I was in your wonderful association, though you are such a great, wonderful personality and powerful devotee, but even though when you are ready to give me the spiritual blessings, that time I thought that first let me beget children from my husband. Eventually I can get the spiritual blessings. That time I did not thought about the spiritual blessings. But now I understand that you are so much detached, you are not at all interested in any of the sense gratification. But just to please me, you have spent all this time with me, which went on just like a moment. Etavatalam kalena vyatikrantena me Prabhu. I have spent so much time along with you for 100 years. We have both traveled in the aerial mansion here and there as a pleasure trip. I have spent so much time in sense gratification. I have used so much of your association only for the purpose of Indriyartha Prasangena. Your association is so valuable that I have used it only for the purpose of sense gratification, for the purpose of sense pleasure. Parityakta Paratmana. Without understanding, without utilizing your greatness, without the thought of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is my mistake. Now I realize the mistake I have done. Then Kardama Muni asks, so what? So what can be done now? Then she says that Indriyateshu sajjantya prasangastvai me krita ajanantya parambhavam tatapi astu bhavayame. She says that Indriyarteshu sajjantya prasangastvai me krita. Though I have associated with you with a desire to have your association for the purpose of sense pleasure and eventually to beget children, Tvayime Krita. Though I have expressed my desire to have only the blessing of begetting children from you, though you are disposed, you are eager to award me all the spiritual benedictions. Ajanantya Parambhavam, that time I ignored your greatness. Though I know, but kind of forgotten your greatness. Your greatness is that you are completely detached from the worldly pleasures and you are a best of the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In spite of that, I have requested you to fulfill my sense pleasure. Tatapi astu abhayayame. Kindly forgiving my this fault of asking you only for material benedictions or using your association only for the material benedictions, please bestow upon me fearlessness. Though I am at fault, but my dear husband, you are not a ordinary soul. Your greatness should award me fearlessness. Kindly show your causeless mercy upon me before you depart from our home. Kindly do this one favor unto me. Then Kardamuni says that, why you are worrying about fearlessness? You have the big aerial mansion, you have all the facilities, you have all the opulences, you have 100 maid servants who will look after your safety and care, etc. You can live happily in the aerial mansion. You don't worry about so much. Then Devahuti says, Sangoya samshruter hetu asastu vito diya Saiva sadhu shukruto nisangatvaya kalpate. My dear husband, you might say that I will have this aerial mansion, all the wonderful facilities and opulences, and also 1000 maid servants to take care of me. But you understand the reason is, just by opulences, having opulences does not get one fearlessness. Sangoya samshruter hetu asastu vito diya. Association with materialistic people or materialistic opulences, materialistic facilities. Sangoya asastu. Asastu means which are not sat, which are not spiritual, either spiritual personalities or spiritual objects or spiritual possessions. Samshruteryetu. Association with material personalities and material objects and material possessions are the reason for repeated cycle of birth and death. Samshruter hetu. Hetu means cause, samshruti means repeated cycle of birth and death. You are telling that I will have this aerial mansion, all the maid servants and all the opulences. But that association, that kind of association puts one in repeated cycle of birth and death. Though you are a great devotee all these years, I was only seeking your association in terms of material sense gratification. That kind of thought process will lead to repeated cycle of birth and death. Just like Vihito Diya, though whether knowingly or unknowingly somebody comes in the association of materialistic people or materialistic objects or opulences, one is put into the cycle of birth and death. Similarly, even though if one associates a great sadhu like you unknowingly, fearlessness is guaranteed. Association of a materialist even in ignorance guarantees bondage. Similarly, association with a spiritualist even in ignorance guarantees liberation. Saeva sadhushu kruto nisangatvaya kalpate. Nisangatva means detachment from this material world. Just like association with materialistic causes bondage, samshruti, same association with the spiritualist even in ignorance causes liberation from this material bondage. So don't create illusions upon me by showing that, okay, aerial mansion is there, these people are that, they will give you fearlessness. So forget it. Even though knowingly or unknowingly, I have associated with you for many years, I am supposed to get fearlessness. That is by default result. One cannot avoid that. So I know about it. I expect it. Thus, indirectly, she is indicating to Kardama that you need to give me fearlessness before you depart from this place. Because I deserve it. One thing is I am Prapannaya. Second thing is that I have associated with you for so many years and you are such a great devotee and great soul, get renounced. That renunciation, that devotion should come to me as a contagious disease. So There is no other way. Don't try to elude me by speaking so many other things. Nehayat karma dharmaya na vairagyaya kalpate na tirthapada sevayai jivan api mruto hisa. So then, yes, of course, my association only has given you this aerial mansion with all the opulences, and you can perform so many activities in that, which will give you fearlessness. What is the problem? You can continue on this. What is the problem? What is the cause of fear in you? Then she says that, Ne, na ihayat karma dharmaya. Whatever activities that we may perform in this world, if those activities do not lead to dharma, na ihayat, iha karma na dharmaya. If whatever activity that we may perform all these years after our marriage, since the time of our marriage, I have served you many years, and eventually I requested your association for begetting children. If all those activities do not lead to dharma, and the performance of that dharma or dharmic activities, if they do not lead to vairagya, vairagya means detachment. As a householder, both wife and husband are expected to perform so many duties in order to fulfill the demands of the householder, to look after the parents, look after themselves, to look after the children, to look after the society, and etc. etc. The wife and husband come together and perform so many activities, perform so many ritualistic ceremonies, etc. etc. So many things they do. That is to fulfill the expected duties of household order, following the religious code and conduct. But eventually, there will be one day that performance of varnashrama dharma, the householder, should lead to vairagya. At one point of time, there should be sufficient detachment in the heart of the husband as well as the wife. Then they will give all the responsibilities of the householder to their children. Then they go on Vanaprastha or Tirtha Yatra in accepting Vanaprastha order. And eventually, after some more complete detachment, with a complete detachment, the husband moves on in the sannyas order. That is general code of conduct. So whatever activities we perform as a householder, that should accomplish our dharma of the householder, and that household execution of that householder dharma should lead to renunciation, vairagya, and that vairagya should engage us in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Na tirtha pada sevayai. If none of these things does not happen, of course, na tirtha pada sevayai, one meaning is engaging in devotional service here in this world itself, and then having gone back home, back to Godhead, one should get the opportunity of the service of Lord's lotus feet in person directly in the spiritual world after becoming an associate Supreme Lord. So that is the entire cycle of progressive journey of a sadhaka. Whatever activities a person performs as a householder, they should follow the code of conduct of dharma or varnashrama dharma of the Guru's order, and that should lead to detachment. The detachment should take them on vanaprastha or sannyas order, and that should engage them in devotional service, and that eventually bring them back home, back to Godhead, and engage them in, give them a facility where they can serve the lotus feet of Supreme Lord directly. If all these things does not happen, that person might be performing so many activities in the household order. Jivan api mrutoisa. Even though living, he is as good as dead. You are, my dear husband, you are telling that you can do your household activities staying in this aerial mansion and in the association of the 1000 ladies. But if all those activities, whatever activities you have performed till now and whatever you are telling that we are going to perform in the future, if they are not are according to dharma, the varnashram dharma, if they are not leading to detachment, they are not leading to devotional service, and they are not leading to go back home, back to Godhead and becoming an associate Supreme Lord and serving him, that person, though living, is as good as dead. Jivan api mrutohi sa. You don't have to look for such kind of person here and there. I myself an example of that person. Now you see my condition. I, being your wife, have performed so many vows and austerities all these years, and I eventually, when you are ready to offer spiritual blessings, I have requested you material pleasure, material sense pleasure. So now you are leaving me behind without awarding me fearlessness. Now, though I am living, I am dead without fearlessness, without the opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord or his representative, without the opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord directly or you as his representative. I am living dead. Though I am living, I am as good as dead. Saham bhagavato nunam vanchita maya dudam yatvam vimuktidam prapya namumuksheya bandhana. So here she says that Saham bhagavato nunam vanchita maya dudam. I am solidly cheated by the Maya of the Supreme Lord. Though I was serving you for many years dedicatedly, but being cheated by Maya, even though when you are ready to offer me spiritual blessings, I have asked for material blessings only. Thus, I have been solidly cheated by Vanchita Maya Drudam. Nuna means almost. Bhagavato Maya. I am almost completely cheated by Maya of the Supreme Lord. But Etvam Vimuktidam Prapya Na Mumukshaya Bandhana. Yatvam Prapya, in spite of obtaining you as my husband, who have the capacity to offer Vimukti, complete liberation, who are a great personality who can offer liberation, anyone who can come in your association, but I have utilized your association for material sense pleasure. Namumukshaya, have not asked you from the blessings of complete liberation. Instead, I have asked those blessings which eventually put me in bondage, bandhana. So thus she is telling that now I can understand that I have been solidly cheated by Lord's Maya, as a result of which, even though in spite of having you as my husband who can offer Vimuktidam, complete liberation, but I have asked you material pleasure which had put me in material bondage. So having spoken all these words, she sat down and began to cry. As Kardama was getting ready to depart for the forest. So thus, Mother Devavati expressed her lamentation unto the departing Kardama Muni. So now here it says that the next chapter talks about what did Kardama do in order to pacify Mother Devavati. Maitreya Uvacha Nirvedavadinam Vadinim Evam Manorduhitaram Muni Dayalu Shalinim Aha Shuklabi Vyahrutam Smaran. So here Kardama Muni began to reply to Manorduhitaram, the daughter of Manu, the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, Devahuti, is telling that Dayalu Shalinim Aha, overtaken by compassion unto his beloved and dedicated wife, Shalinim, who is not at fault. Though Devahuti is telling that I have committed a great fault, great mistake, but Kardama understood that she is not at fault. As a genuine wife, she expected to beget children through her husband. There is no fault in that. Shalinim, her conduct is actually worthy of glorification. There is no fault in her conduct. There is no fault in her requesting children through her husband. Nirveda Vadinim Evam Manor Duhitaram Muni, in order to pacify her lamentation, and also remembering the words spoken by Lord Vishnu at the very beginning when the Lord gave darshan, being satisfied by the austerities. That Lord gave me some special blessing. Remembering that, now Shuklaya Abhivyahrutam Smaran, having remembered the words of Lord Vishnu, Shukla, Lord Vishnu, Kardama spoke to Devahuti. Rushi Ruvacha. So Kardama Muni speaking to Devahuti. Ma kido Rajaputrittam Atmanam Prati Anindite Bhagavamste Ksharo Garbham Adurat Samprapashyate. So here he says that Ma kido Rajaputri Ittam. My dear Rajaputri, my dear daughter of a king, kindly do not lament like this. Atmanam Prati Anindite. By criticizing yourself, do not lament like this. You are not a person subject to criticism, because you are not committed any mistake or any fault. Your desire was genuine. There is no fault in that desire of begetting children through one's husband. Bhagavamste aksharo garbham. Bhagavamste aksharo, the infallible supreme personality of Godhead. Garbham adurat samprapashyate, had promised that entering your womb, he will take birth in this world. He will appear in this world through the medium of your womb. This is what the Supreme Lord had promised me previously. Kindly do not lament like this. You are not a misfortune lady. You have all auspiciousness unto you. You have performed all the auspicious activities. There is no misfortune unto you. Kindly do not lament like this. The Supreme Lord had promised me previously that he would appear through your womb. So this is what Kardama remembered. Shuklaya Abhivyahrutam Smaran. What Lord spoke about this, that he would appear as the son of Kardama to the womb of Devahuti. That is what he informed to Devahuti. Dhritavrata Bhadram te Damena Niyamena cha Tapo Dravina Danaischa Shraddaya Cheshwaram Bhaja. He says that Dhritavatasi Bhadram te, O auspicious one, who you performed strong vows. I personally witnessed that for many decades and years. You have performed strong vows, neglecting the comfort of your body. You are not ordinary woman. Your dedication to the service of your husband is praiseworthy. Neglecting your own comforts, neglecting the care of your own body, you are dedicated in service of mine. You are Dhritavrata, you are determined to perform vows. The same determination, Damena, with the control of the senses, Niyamena, following all the rules and regulations prescribed in the Vedic literature, Tapo, performing austerities, Dravina Danaischa, giving in charity all the variety of ingredients, all the variety of grains, Dravina Danaischa, Shraddaya, with complete faith, Cheshwaram Bhaje, worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord already promised that he would appear, but that is not so easily. That will not happen just like that. Now, as you have served me previously with strong determination, the same determination now follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic literature with the control of your senses, following austerities, giving charities to the guests and visitors with complete faith, worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Satvayardita Shuklo Vitanvan Mamakam Yasha Chetate Hridaya Grantim Audaryo Brahma Bhavana. He says that Satvaya Aradita Shuklo, Thus by being worshipped by you, the Supreme Lord Shukla, Vitanvan Mamakam Yasha, in order to expand my glories, in order to distribute my glories all over the universe, Chetate Hridaya Grantinam, and also in order to distribute my glories and also to destroy that Hridaya Ganti is there, the material attachment that is there in your heart. Cheta means your heart or in your consciousness or in your mind. The Lord will appear to spread my glories all over the universe, and he will also appear to untie the Hridaya Granthi that is there in your heart, or cut the ignorance that is there in your heart. Audaryo Brahma Bhavana. That Supreme Lord will appear through your womb. Having entered into your womb, by making you as a via medium, he will appear in this world, Brahma Bhavana. And eventually, he will become your teacher. I will teach about Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan unto you and to the people of this entire world. In order to speak about the glories of the Supreme Absolute Truth, having entered into your womb, if you worship like this, he will enter into your womb and appear in this world as your son. He will do these two things. He will spread my glories. He will remove the ignorance that is there in your heart. Maitreya Uvacha Devahuti api sandesham Gauravena Prajapate Sammak Shraddhaya Purusham Kutastam Abhajad Gurum. Says that Devahuti api sandesham, having heard the instructions given by her husband Kardama Muni, Gauravena Prajapate. Here Kardama Muni is indicated as Prajapati. He is also called as a Prajapati because that was the request of Brahma. Brahma requested all his sons to get married and become children and become Prajapatis. So in order to fulfill the vow of Lord Brahma, instruction of Lord Brahma, Kardama married Devahuti and begot 9 daughters, and these 9 daughters eventually would beget, after marrying the sages, would beget many more children, and they are all considered to be grandchildren of Kardama Muni. Thus, he fulfilled the instruction of Lord Brahma to become Prajapati. So something like that. Gauravena. So out of great respect, Devahuti followed the instructions given by Kardama Muni, where he said that Dita Vartasi Badrante Damena, Niyamena, Tapa, Dana, Vrata, Shraddhaya, Ishwaram Bhaja. All those things she performed without any mistake. Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham. Completely, Samyak means completely. Shraddhaya with complete faith. Purusham. Abhajat. She worshipped that Purusha who is situated in his own transcendental position. Kutastha. Kutastha means in his transcendental position, which does not change by time or by the influence of time or by the influence of Maya. And Guru, who would be her future Guru. As of now, the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Lord, the Ishvara is the Supreme Lord, and also having been born through her womb, he will become her future Guru. And she worshipped the Supreme Lord who would be going to become her future Guru, following the instructions and guidelines given by her husband. Tasyam bahutite kale Bhagavan Madhusudana Kardamam Viryamapanno Jajne Agnir Ivadharuni. Tasyam Bahutite Kale. Not one day, 2 day. Bahutiti means many days. Titi is like 1 day. One titi is there for 1 day. Like that, she performed all these austerities following the instructions of her husband, Kardama Muni, for many days. Not 1 day, 2 day, maybe few weeks or few months. She performed all these severe austerities, sincerely worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead who would be going to her future Guru, Bhagavan Madhusudana. Here Lord is addressed as the killer of Madhu demon. Here Madhu demon indicated that he is going to kill the ignorance that is there in the core of her heart. Just like Lord killed all the Madhu demons such as Madhu, he is going to kill the ignorant that is there in her heart in that way. Kardamam Viryamapanno. That Supreme Lord who is situated in the devotion of Kardama. Here Viryam refers to the great strength of Kardama. The strength of Kardama is his devotional service. That Supreme Lord who was pleased by the devotional service of Kardama appeared long back and blessed him that he would become his son. And that Supreme Lord is still situated in the devotional service of Kardama. Kardamam Viryam Apanno Jajne Agnir Ivadaruni. Just like fire is situated invisibly in wood. Fire is there in each and every wooden piece. It is not visible to us, but it is there inside. When you ignite little bit the wood, the fire which is there inside will come out and blaze forth. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated unseen by others in the devotional service of Kardama Muni. So here it is indicated that Kardama Muni who was situated in the devotional service, that Supreme Lord who was situated in the devotional service of Kardama Muni, eventually after many days, after many tithis, after receiving the severe worship of Devahuti, entered into her womb. It's like that. Have appeared in the womb of Devahuti. That Supreme Lord who was invisibly there in the devotional service of Kardama Muni, from the heart of Kardama Muni entered into the heart of Devahuti, and from the heart of Devahuti entered into the womb of Devahuti. So then the entire universe came to know that the Supreme Lord had entered into the womb of Devahuti. Now the Lord is situated in the womb of Devahuti. This news has spread all over the universe. Now let us see what is the response of the people all over the universe. Avadhyam stadavyomni vaditrani ghana ghana gayanti tam sma gandharva nrityanti apsaraso muda. So here it is said, Avadhyam stadavyomni. Those terrestrial beings who are situated in the outer space, Vaditrani Gana Gana, they began to play their instruments. Vaditrani, they began to play their instruments. The entire ether began to resound in the jubilation that the Lord is going to appear through the womb of Mother Devahuti. All the devatas who are situated in the outer space, they began to play their respective instrument. Gana Gana also refers to the sound of the instruments. Gana Gana also refers to the devatas are so jubilant that in order to express those jubilation, the clouds are rumbling and the rains are pouring down, something like that. Gayatritam sma Gandharva, the Gandharvas began to sing. Nrityanti apsaraso muda, the apsaras began to dance out of great happiness that the Supreme Lord is going to appear. The devatas from heaven, they began to play their instruments. The Gandharvas and apsaras began to dance and sing out of joy that the Supreme Lord is going to appear. Supreme Lord's appearance brings joy to everyone. So everyone is expressing their joy. Petu sumanaso divya kecharairapa varjita praseduscha disha sarva ambasicha manasicha. Petu sumanaso divya kecharair apavarjita. Divya refers to the devatas who are situated in the Divya Swarga. From there, they began to shower the rain of flowers. Previous word Gana Gana could refer to the raindrops from the clouds. And here we can take that the devatas are so jubilant that they began to shower the flowers on the ashram of Kardama Muni. Ke Charai Rapavarjita, the devatas who are actually constantly moving in the outer space. From that outer space, being moved in their own airplanes, they began to shower so many flowers on the ashram of Kardama Muni. So then, Praseduscha Disha Sarva, all the directions have become so happy. All the directions, they have become so happy. Ambamsi, all the water bodies, either in the clouds in the sky or the oceans on the surface of the earth, they all became happy and they began to express their joy. And cha manamsi cha, and also the minds of all the living entities all over the universe, they also became happy. Though many of them may not be aware that Lord is going to happen, just because Lord is going to appear, the minds of the living entities all around on the surface of the earth became pacified and they are kind of experiencing satisfaction. Just like during the birth time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no one knows that the Lord is going to appear, but everyone became so jubilant that everyone was chanting Hari, 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 Hari while taking bath in the Ganges. That is the potency of Lord's appearance in this world. When the time Lord is going to appear in this world, and all the pious living entities all over the universe become happy, or they experience satisfaction within the core of the heart. That is how the Lord is connected with the pious people and the surrendered souls. Similarly, whenever a demon is going to appear, the entire universe is perturbed. There is going to be appearance of so many ill omens. Just like recently we have read in the third canto, only chapter 17 or something, when Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were supposed to appear, supposed to take birth, the entire universe was trembling. And the animals, forest animals were running here and there and shouting loudly, barking and bragging at so many animals. Those animals who generally do not make sound, they are making sound holes and all, etc. That is what happens whenever a demonic person is going to take birth. And this is what happens whenever a great devotee or the Supreme Lord's avatara is going to appear. That is the distinction between both. The nature will indicate to us what's happening around. If everyone, all the past people become satisfied, means something wonderful is going to happen. Some wonderful person is taking birth. If the surrounding atmosphere is so disastrous, so fear-invoking, that means one should understand that somewhere demon is taking birth. Something like that. Tatkardamashram padam Saraswatya parishritam Swayambhu Shakam Rushibhir Marichi Adibir Abhyayat. So from Svargaloka and Bhuvarloka, this is what happening. In the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Svargaloka, this is what happening. The Svargaloka Devatas became happy. They began to play drums and they began to shower flowers. In Bhuvarloka, the Gandharvas began to sing and Apsaras began to dance. And the Bhuloka, the oceans and the clouds are expressing their joy, and all the human beings are expressing satisfaction in the core of their minds. And now, above Sargaloka, from Satyaloka, understanding Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, understanding that the Lord is going to appear. Lord Brahma, Swayambhu means here Lord Brahma, along with all the Rishis, surrounded by Narada, the four Kumaras, Marichi, Pulaha, Kratu, Pulasya, like that all the other Manasa Putras of Lord Brahma, accompanied by all of them, Lord Brahma came to the ashram of Kardama Muni. All the devatas from their own places, they showed flowers. But Brahma, along with all the great sages, along with Narada Muni and four Kumaras, directly came to the ashram of Kardama Muni. He could not stay at far and appreciate Kardama. He wanted to appreciate him personally. So he came to Kardama Muni's ashram personally. Bhagavantam param brahma satvenamshena shatruhan tattva sankyana vignapte jata vidwan ajaswarat. Aja, the unborn Lord. Swarat, the completely independent Lord. Jatam Vidwan. Vidwan refers to Lord Brahma, who is all knowledgeable. Understanding that the unborn Supreme Personality of Godhead, the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavantam Parabrahma, the Supreme Parabrahman, the Supreme Transcendental Absolute Truth, Bhagavan, so who is also known as Sattva, Shuddha person, Amshena, in his partial manifestation, had entered into the womb of Devahuti. That Lord Brahma, understanding that Supreme Lord who does not have any birth, who is completely independent, in spite of that, in his partial manifestation, had entered into the womb of Devahuti. For what purpose? Tattva Sankyana Vijnaptai, in order to preach Sankhya Yoga all over the universe. In order to preach the Sankhya Yoga all over the universe about the glories of the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord in his partial manifestation had entered into the womb of Devahuti. Understanding this, Lord Brahma came to the ashram of Kardama Muni along with Narada, four Kumaras, and all the other great sages such as Vasishtha, Pulaha, Kratu, Marichi, etc. etc. Sabhajayan Vishuddhena Chesata Satchakirshitam Praharshamanairashubhi Kardamam Chedamabhyadat. So when Lord Brahma had come there, Kardama Muni received Lord Brahma on one side. After being received by Kardama Muni, Sabhajayan Vishuddhena Chetasa Tat Shikirshitam Praharshamaнаир Ashubhi Kardamam Chedam Abhyadat. The Supreme Lord, Lord Brahma, with complete understanding that the personality in the womb of Devahuti is none other than the Supreme Lord, worshipped that Supreme Lord. Worshipped that Supreme Lord, glorifying the purpose of his avatara. Sabhajayan Vishuddhena Chetata Tat Shikirchitam. Understanding that this is none other than the Supreme Lord and what is the purpose of his appearance, glorifying those wonderful activities that is going to perform in the future, Lord Brahma worshipped the Supreme Lord in the womb of Devahuti. Just like all the Devatas appeared in the prison house of Devaki and Vasudev when Lord Krishna was in her home. The Devatas in an invisible way appeared there, came there and worshipped, offered wonderful prayers unto Lord Krishna, who is there in the womb of Devaki. Here also Lord is there in the womb of Devahuti, and Lord Brahma worshipped him, understanding that what are the future activities of Kardama Muni. Praharshamaнаир Ashubhi, being completely satisfied with a pure heart and with complete satisfaction, Kardamam cha idam abhyadat. Lord Brahma then began to speak to Kardama and his wife Devahuti. As soon as he came, he received the welcome of Kardama and Devahuti. Then he immediately worshipped the Supreme Lord in the womb of Devahuti, glorifying his future activities. Then he began to speak to Kardama and Devahuti. What did Lord Brahma speak to Kardama and Devahuti? First, he speaks to Kardama in 2 verses, then he speaks to Devahuti in 2 more verses. He says that Brahmovacha Tvayame Apachitastata Kalpata Nirvalikata Yenme Sanjagra Vyakyam Bhavan Manadamanayan. Tvayame Apachitastata. Tata means my dear son. Tata means calling son affectionately. Kalpita Nirvalikata. Whatever I have requested from you, you have executed everything. Very nicely. Thus, Tvayame apachitas tata kalpita nirvalikata yenme sanjagre vyakyam bhavan manada manayan. Giving highest regard to my words, manada manayan, accepting my words are highest object of worship, you have followed exactly, and thus you have worshipped me. You have given me great respect. Apachitas Tata, you have worshipped me completely without any pretensions, without any shortcuts, nirvelikata, without any duplicitous intentions. Following my words, you have actually heartfully worshipped me. That you married and begot wonderful children, and your surrender is so great that the Supreme Lord agreed to become your son. What more happiness can be there for a father when son accomplishes that the Supreme Lord would appear his son? The great task of making the Supreme Lord one's own son. So Lord Rama was completely satisfied and is expressing his satisfaction to Kardamuni, saying that you have accomplished all my instructions and you have given me great respect by following my instructions. I am very satisfied. Etavati eva susrusha karya pitari putrakai bhadam iti anumanyeta gauravena gururvacha. Bhadam iti anumanyeta gauravena gururvacha. Out of respect for Guru, the disciple says that, yes, sir, whatever you say, I will follow. Similarly, accepting me as your Guru by saying, yes, sir, you have followed my instructions more than 100%. I have only requested you to beget children so that the universe can be populated. But you have done more than that. You have begot. You have made the Supreme Lord to become your son. This I never asked you, but you have done more than what I have asked. I am so much pleased by your selfless surrender towards me. Etavati eva susrusha karya pitari putraka. Every son taking your example, taking your activities as an example, should follow like this. Etavati eva susrusha karya pitari putrakai. Every son in this world accepting you as their role model should follow the instructions of their parents like this. They should follow the instructions of the parents, and simultaneously they should also attain the mercy of the Supreme Lord. It is not only just instructions. The instructions should become, the following of the instruction should become the pleasure of the, should become the cause of the pleasure of Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord becomes Supreme Lord agrees to become his son. That actually gives immense pleasure to the parents. So Lord Brahma expressing to Kardamuni that I am very much pleased. Not only me be pleased, the Supreme Lord himself is pleased so much that he agreed to become your son. What more can be there for a father to see the wonderful dedication of one's son? That's how it is being glorified. So somewhat in this connection, there is a storyline comes in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there the storyline is Yayati. So he happened to marry Devayani, since Devayani insisted that she should be married, because Yayati was a Kshatriya, Devayani was a Brahmani, and Yayati told that I cannot marry you because you are from higher order. But Devayani insisted that you should marry. And at the time of marriage, Devayani's father, Shukracharya, put a condition to the king to whom he was working as a priest. He told that your daughter should go along with me as a maid servant. And that time Shukracharya told his son-in-law, Yayati, that you should never lie down with this girl. Though she is coming, but you should never lie down with her. That means you should never accept her as your wife, second wife. But eventually, by the destiny, by the will of the providence, he accepted Sharmishta as his another wife. He begot 2 children from Devayani, 3 children from Sharmishta. And when Devayani understood that her husband had 3 sons from Sharmishta, she went home and pursuing after her. When Yayati also came home, understanding what had happened, even though I have given you instruction not to accept her as your wife, you accept her as your wife and you begot 3 sons, I will curse you to become old. Then immediately Yayati became old there in itself. Then Yayati submitted to Shukracharya saying that, so by making me old, you are only causing violence to your daughter. Your daughter even cherishes my association. She would like to have my association for some more time. By making me old, you are actually causing intolerable pain to your daughter. Please do something to reward this. Then Shukracharya says, my curse cannot go in vain, but you can exchange your old age with someone accepting their youth. So Yayati asks, starting with his eldest son, Yadu, and other sons, none of them accept, but only the youngest son, Puru, accepts to trade his youth with his father. So that time he says that, okay, my dear father, no problem, you accept my youth, I will accept your old age as long as you want. So in that connection, there is a word comes, there is a verse comes, sloka comes in the Bhagavatam. This is from 9th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 44. 9th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 44, where it says that, Uttama Chindita Kuryat. The best among the sons understand what a father is thinking in his mind and does it without being ordered or without being instructed, without being told by the father itself. Understanding what is going on in the mind of the father, that son accomplishes that. Uttama Chindita Kuryat. Proktakari tu Madhyama. When father tells, my dear son, kindly do this, then the son of the medium category does this. So here Puru says this verse, that Puru says that actually a son supposed to understand what is there in the mind of the father and do it. Like Bhishma did for Shantanu. Shantanu, when Shantanu wanted to marry Satyavati, Satyavati's father put a condition that only my daughter's son would become the next king. The Bhishma, the son of Ganga, cannot become the king. So Shantanu could not marry her. He came back. It will be great injustice to Bhishma. But later on, understanding that Shantanu wanted to marry Satyavati, Bhishma went and pacified the father of Satyavati that no problem, I will not become the king. You please give your daughter. Then he put another condition. You may not become king. Your sons may want to sit on the throne. Then Bhishma said, no, I will not even marry. So there will be no problem from my side and my children's side. So your daughter sons only will be the future kings. So Bhishma can be given example of the son who understood what is there in the mind of the father and did it. And here Puru said that I have become Madhyama only. After you have asked me, I am trading my youth to you. I cannot become Uttama. At least let me become Madhyama. Then Adamo Ashraddhaya Kuryat. The son of the lowest category does Ashraddhaya, without dedication, without faith, whatever father is requesting him. And then Akarto Charitam Pitu. The fourth son, Akartu, does not do whatever the father being told. And this verse is so what you say, very strong. Akarto Ucharitam Pitu. That kind of son who does not follow the instructions of a father is like the stool or urine which is emitted by the father. Just like the stool and urine is expelled from the father's body, and this son is also born out of the expelled material. Something like that. Who does not follow the instructions of the father. So that's how this is being indicated in the 9th canto of Bhagavatam. Etavati eva sustusha karya pitari putrakai badamiti annumanneta gauravena gururvacha. Accepting the father as one's own guru and with all giving all respects to the guru and his words, why a son should follow them properly. So you have set a good example for the same thing, and everyone should follow your example. Ima duhitra duhitara satyas tavavasta samudhyama savavasya samadhyama sargam yetam prabhavais svair brahma ishyanti anekada. So my dear son, I have requested you to beget children, and through them the universe can be populated, and this order of mine will be fulfilled by these 9 daughters. Ima duhitra satyas tava vasta Sumadhyama. The slender waisted girls eventually will marry suitable husbands, and through them they will beget so many children, and they will populate the entire universe step by step. Thus, these daughters of yours will fulfill my instruction. Don't worry. Indirectly indicating that the Supreme Lord who is going to appear in this world as a son of yours will not get married and will not beget children. So indirectly, Lord Brahma is indicating that the future activities of Lord Kapila. Sargam Yeta Prabha Vaiswar Brahma Ishyanti Anekada. By their potency, they will expand population and they populate the entire universe in multitude. So my order will be fulfilled. My instruction unto you will be fulfilled through these daughters. And then Lord Brahma only arranges for their marriages. Atastvam Rushi Mukhebhyo Yatashilam Yataruchi Atmaja Paridei Adhya Vistirni Yashobhuvi. He says that. So my dear son Kardama, please look at these wonderful Prajapatis, great sages. Please select them according to Yatashilam and Yataruchi, according to the liking of your daughters, according to the qualities and disposition of your daughters. Select them as the husbands for your daughter, as your daughter, for your daughters, for your 9 daughters. I have many sons here, and do the matching and get them married to these sons. So Lord Brahma not only was happy with Kardama's activities, he also brought the son-in-laws for Devahuti and Kardama. These 9 sons who are going to be husbands of 9 daughters of Kardama are all 9 Manasa Putras of Lord Brahma himself. Then, now, Lord Brahma is speaking to Kardama and also to Devahuti. Vedaham adyam purusham avatirnam samayaya bhutanam sevadim deham bibranam kapilam muni. Veda aham. I know for sure, I understood and I know for sure that Adyam Purusham or Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead, had entered into the womb of your wife Devahuti, and very soon he is going to appear in this world in a manifest way. For what purpose? Bhutanam Sevadim Deham Bibranam Kapila Muni. He is going to appear in a transcendental form which will be called as Kapila Muni, which will be called as Kapila by all the Munis. For what purpose? Bhutanam Sevadim. In order to bestow fulfillment of all the living entities. In order to bestow the fulfillment of all the desires of all the living entities, as well as in order to award the transcendental knowledge to all the living entities. That were those were the future activities of your son. And these non-different the Supreme Lord. I know for sure the Supreme Lord himself, he had entered into the womb of your wife, and very soon he will appear in this world and he will be known as Kapila. He will award the fulfillment of all the benedictions of all the living entities, and also he will preach the spiritual or transcendental knowledge to each and everyone in this world. So what kind of transcendental knowledge is that? Jnana Vijnana Yogena Karmanam Udaranjata Karmanam Udaramjata Hiranyakesha Padmaksha Padnamudra Padambuja. Jnana Vijnana Yogena. He will preach Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Jnana means that transcendental knowledge following which one will realize the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Brahman. And Vijnana Yoga means, Jnana Yoga is that transcendental knowledge will make one realize the Brahman, the impersonal form of Brahman. And Vijnana Yoga is about devotional service following which one understands the personal aspect of the Supreme Lord Bhagavan. So Lord Kapila will teach Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, following which or studying which the living entities of this world will understand about the impersonal aspect of Brahman and personal aspect of Bhagavan. For what purpose? Karmanam buddharam jata. In order to deliver the people of this world from the karma bandhan. Following this Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, the people of this world will be delivered from the karma bandhan. What are the features of that Lord? Hiranyakesha. The Lord will have golden hair. Padmaksha, lotus-like eyes. Padma Mudra Padambuja. He will have the lotus insignia, the marks of the lotus flower on his lotus feet, on the soles of his lotus feet. Hiranyakesha, Padmaksha, Padma Mudra, Padambuja. And what are the other symptoms of Lord Kapila? Eshamanavite Garbam. Eshamanavite Garbam Pravishta Kaitabhardana. Avidya Samshaya Grantim Chitva Gam Vicharishyati. And now Lord Kapila, Lord Brahma is directly speaking to Mother Devahuti. He says that Eshamanavite Garbam, that Supreme Lord who has Hiranyakesha, Padmaksha, Padmamudra, Padambuja, who is appearing to preach Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, who is appearing to deliver the people of this world from the Karma Bandhan, Esha Manavite Garbam has entered now into the womb of Manavi, the daughter of Manu, Devahuti. Pravishta Kaitabhardana, the Lord who had killed Kaitaba and other demons, had entered into the womb of daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. Avidya Samshaya Grantim Chitva Gam Vicharishyati. In order to cut the knot of ignorance, Avidya Grantim, in order to destroy the Avidya Granthi. Avidya indicates that the forgetfulness, ignorance of one's true identity, forgetfulness of one's Swarupa. That is called Avidya Granthi. Because of Avidya, we forget who we are. The Lord will appear to destroy that Avidya Granthi, by which we will understand who we really are. And Samshaya Granthim, Samshaya means false knowledge or doubt. Somebody may say that you are the part of spiritual Lord. Really? We don't know. False knowledge. They have so many other false identities in this world. The Lord will appear to remove that false knowledge and award us true knowledge. Chitva, in order to destroy whatever avidya or samshaya that is stored in the core of the heart, the Lord appears to destroy all of them. He appears to cut the knot of ignorance and false knowledge. So in that way, these two things will be removed. And your avidya and your samshaya will be revealed by this person who is going to appear as your son. And also in order to destroy the avidya and samshaya of all the living entities, he will travel on the surface of the earth. Gam vicharishyati, he will travel on the surface of the earth. He will disseminate the same knowledge to each and everyone on the surface of the earth. Ayam siddha ganadisha sankhya susammata loke kapila iti akyam ganta te kirti vardana. Ayam siddha ganadisha sankhya susammata. Siddha ganadisha, the best of the perfected beings. I am Siddha Ganadisha. This personality will be glorified as Adisha, the leader of all the Siddha Ganas, all the perfected beings. Sankhya Susammata, and his philosophy will be accepted and followed by all the Sankhya Acharyas, all the teachers of Sankhya philosophy, all the teachers of Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Loke Kapila iti akyam, he'll be glorified as Lord Kapila in this world. Gantate Kirti Vadanam, thus his glories are spread in all directions of the universe. So these are all his future activities, and he will become the leader of all the Siddhas, and he will be glorified by all the Sankhyacharyas, and he will become his glories are spread all over the universe. So these are the words spoken by Lord Brahma. Maitreya Uvacha Tau Ashvasya Jagasrishta Kumarai Sahanarada Hamso Hamsena Yanena Tridama Paramam Yayo. Having spoken about the future activities of the Supreme Lord, having given assurance to Devahuti that he will remove your avidya and samshaya, becoming your guru, and having assured that, my dear son Kardama, you have performed you followed my instruction to the fullest extent. More than that, I am very much satisfied with you. Having told all those things, taking along with him Narada and the 4 Kumaras, boarding on his Hamsavahan, Lord Brahma went back to Satyaloka, which is Tridama Paramam Yav, which is situated above the 3 planetary systems, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, and Svargaloka. Lord Brahma went back to his own abode, taking along with him Narada and the 4 Kumaras, who have taken a vow of no marriage. So they are not fit for marriage. They don't need to take part in the marriage of their brothers, and they have gone along with Lord Brahma. And here, Gateshathadratu Kshatta Kardamastena Chodita Etoditam Swaduhitru Pradad Vishwasrujam Tata. Having given send off to his father, Lord Brahma, and Narada Muni and 4 Kumaras, following the rules and regulations of the Vedic literature, Yata Uditam, following all the instructions given in Vedic literature, Swaduhitru Pradad Vishwasrujam Tata, understanding the likings and the qualifications of his daughter, he gave in marriage all his 9 daughters to the 9 sons of Lord Brahma, who are left behind. While coming, they all came along with Brahma, but now they are left behind. Lord Brahma went ahead along with Narada and 4 Kumaras. Only the sons are remained, and Kardama was selected the suitable matches. So who was suitable to whom? Here it said that Mariche Kalam Pradat, his daughter known as Kala, is given to Marichi. Anasuyam Atatreye, Atri, Anasuya was given to Atri. Shraddham Angirase Yachat, Shraddha, his daughter name was Shraddha, was given in marriage to Angirasa Muni or Angira Muni. Pulasya Havirbuvam, Havirbu was given in marriage to Pulasya. Pulahaya Gatim Yuktam, Gati was given in marriage to Pulaha. Kratavecha Kriyam Satim, Kriya was given in marriage to Kratu. Kyatim Cha Brugave Yachad, Kyati was given in marriage to Brugu. Brugu Muni married Kyati. Vasishta Yapi Arundatim, Arundhati married Vasishta. Arundhati is very famous. During the marriage time, they say that Arundhati is Nakshatra, etc. That Arundhati is the daughter of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. She was given in marriage to Vasishta. Atharvane Adat Shantim, Shanti was given in marriage to Atharvana Rishi. Yaya Yajno Vitanyate Viprashabam Krutodvahan Sadaran Samalalayat. So basically, Shanti was given in marriage to Atharvana Rishi, and because of them, the yajna becomes complete. Yaya Yajno Vitanvate. Of course, these are all this Shanti and Atharvana, they are all also representatives of various functions in the universal management. So by her, by Shanti, a sacrifice becomes successful. Even in any yajna, there is something called as Shanti Home. The Purna Kumbha, Purna Hoti or Shanti Home, like that, it is said is one of the offering, one of the oblation in the past part of yajna. At the end of the yajna, in order to complete the yajna, the final home, final oblations are supposed to be given. That is called Shanti Homa or Purna Ahuti. So by that, the yajna comes to a conclusion. So that is represented by the Shanti. And Atharvana is Atharvana Rishi. Following Atharva Veda, yajnas are being performed in that way. Viprashabhan Kritodvaham Sharadan Samapalayat. Having given all his daughters to all these sons of Brahma, Kardama Muni took care of them for some time. So all of them stayed at the home of Kardama Muni, and Kardama Muni took care of them very nicely for some time. Then eventually one day, Tatastarshayakshata Kritadara Nimantratam Pratishtam Nandim Apanna Swamsam Ashrama Mandalam. Having stayed at the house of their father-in-law and mother-in-law, All these 9 Prajapatis are the 9 sons of Lord Brahma. Taking their respective wives, they went back to their respective ashrama. Swamsam ashrama mandalam. So now the marriages of the 9 daughters of Devahuti and Kardama were done. They stayed in their in-laws home for some time, taken care by their in-laws. And now with the due permission of their in-laws, taking their wives, all these sons of Brahma went back to their respective ashramas. So thus Kardama got married all his daughters to various great personalities, and eventually their children will populate the entire universe. These 9 sages beget so many children through these 9 wives. The list of their children are described in the 4th canto, 1st chapter. When we go to 4th canto, that time we will discuss. And what is going to happen then after the marriage, then what happened in the life of Devahuti and Kardama, we will discuss that in the next week. So we'll stop here at the verse number 25. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining today's evening discussion. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. So we'll stop here, or we'll take some questions, or some other devotees are going to have kirtan.
Good question. Okay. You can take some questions. Vrishabhanu Prabhu is not there today.
Yes, Prabhu.
I have a couple of questions and we will end the program today.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Any devotees have any queries? Okay, no problem. If there are no queries, we'll stop here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.